Okay, we're learning Mishnayos Bava Metzia, Perek Vav Mishnah Beis. You can find that on page 130 in the middle of the page in the handouts. Hasocher ha'umanim v'chazru behen. Somebody hires workers to do a job, contracts them to do something, and then in the middle he says, "Nah, I'm getting somebody else. I don't want you to do it anymore." So Yadan, v'chazru behen. They went back. They said no. They left in the middle. So then Yadan al tachtona. Their hands are on the lower scale. Basically, they're at a disadvantage.
Yeah, their bargaining power is less than the other side.
Well, it's not a question of bargaining power. It's a question of their claim on getting paid, as we'll see in a second. In Baal Bayas Chozer Bo Yado al tachtona. If the owner retracted, so then his hand is at a disadvantage. So the halacha is like this. I mean, basically, let's say the entire job is a $100 job, and they did half the job, so they're supposed to get paid $50. Now, if they retracted, and now the owner has to go out and get somebody else to do the second half of the job, he had to pay somebody $60. So then he can pay them $40, basically, even though he agreed to pay them $50 and they did half the job. But since they dropped out, it's costing him money. He's the one who's suffering here, and therefore he can take it out on them. And he only has to pay them the $40. If it's the other way around, if he pulled out, so then let's say the workers now let's say he's able to pay. I mean, basically, let's say that the price went up, as it were, for workers, or the price went down. Let's say the price went down, right? So that now he only has to pay $40 to the second set of guys to finish. So he still has to pay. He doesn't have to pay $60 to the original guys, but he still has to pay them the $50, meaning he still owes them what he agreed to pay them. They get to they get to be paid their proper amount.
What if there's cause on one party or the other?
So that's a separate situation, right? So cause, that can be argued in Beis Din or whatever, but assuming that there's no, all things equal, basically.
Yeah, this is just a voluntary breaking of contract by one side.
Right.
Breaking the contract.
Right, they're breaking the contract. So, Kol Meshana Yado al Tachtona. Basically, anybody who alters the terms of the contract, so they're at a disadvantage for altering the contract. They're not supposed to be doing that. We had that back in Baba Kama, that if you had somebody said, you're supposed to, I want you to dye my wool red, and they dyed it black or something like that. So, basically, if the value went up, so then they only have to give the guy, the amount that he put into it, basically, and you get to keep all the benefits, or the other way around, meaning if the amount that they put into it is more than the value, so then they give him the value. So it's all basically you win out if somebody messes up. And anybody who goes back on a deal, they are at a disadvantage. So that's talking about, like, let's somebody sells a field to somebody else. Let's say it's for 1,000 zuz, and he only gives him 200 so far, and then he wants to retract. So basically, if the seller wants to retract, the buyer can say, either give me back my money, or give me $200 worth of your 200 zuz worth of your field. And the other way around, the seller as well can say, he wants to go back in the middle. The seller can say, okay, here's your money, or he can say, no, I want you to buy, a portion of this field. I've been trying to get rid of this field forever. Okay, so I can't sell the whole thing, but at least I'll sell part of it. Depending on who retracts, that's the one who sort of has to get second fiddle in terms of the decision making. What one has to do in terms of finishing the deal.